It's Dan again with We the People Prepping. I've had over the years, I've had a lot of people ask me, why should I bother to prep? Nothing's going to happen. If something happens, the government will take care of us. And I tell them, okay, well then, why do you have health insurance? Why do you have car insurance? Why do you have life insurance? Nothing. Odds are you're not going to be in an accident. I mean, how often do you actually have an accident? If you take care of your health, then maybe you won't get sick. We have these insurance policies because we know that stuff happens in life. You're going to get sick. There's always the possibility of an accident. And we know everybody's going to die. It's just a matter of when. So we take out insurance for that. So why not take out insurance for everyday life? The loss of a job, car breaks down, there's floods, tornadoes, fires. Why not have a plan and be prepared? I thought it was hilarious. Everybody that I knew that knows that I prep, they laughed because you're never going to need all that. You'll be able to go out to the store and get what you need. Then 2020 rolled around. Then they weren't laughing so much. We can't get out to the stores. What are we going to do? What do you mean we? I'm doing just fine. I don't need to go to the store. I've got everything I need at home. Well, can you help us out? Well, I tried to help you out. I told you for years that you need to start preparing for something to happen. I'm not a total dick about it. I'll hand them a couple of pounds of beans, a couple of pounds of rice, say, here you go. There, I helped you out. And then, they'll complain and bitch about it. I go, well, I guess you ain't as hungry as you thought you were, so if you don't want them, I'll gladly put them back in my preps. Oh, no, we'll take them. It amazes me that people think that nothing's ever really going to happen. Things happen every day. I broke down out in the middle of nowhere. Nearest town was a good 30 miles away. And, it was winter time and it was probably about 10-15 degrees outside and the wind blowing like a bat out of hell. I sure as hell didn't want to walk, and this was before cell phones. This was a long time ago. Like I said, I was a prepper, and then I stopped prepping for a good long while, which was a mistake on my part, and I fully admit that. I got too complacent. I started to get into the mindset like everybody else. Oh, things are going to be all right. Well, things weren't all right. But anyhow, I broke down out in the middle of nowhere. Cold as hell, But at the time, I was still prepping. I always carry a tent in the trunk of my car. I carry some, generally anywhere from 3 to 12 pieces of firewood back there at any given time. I carry a sleeping bag back there. Pretty much everything I need. I carry emergency rations back there, extra water. Even in the wintertime, I still carry water back there. Sometimes it'll freeze up, but, I can defrost it. Hell with it. I'll set it next to the fire and let it defrost. In the wintertime, I don't fill the water jugs all the way up. I'll put them about 3/4 of the way full. That way the water's got room to expand without busting out my container. And I'll generally lay it on its side, so when it expands, it doesn't expand down at the bottom and bust out the bottom, and it'll expand up and it won't bust out. But I carried what I needed. Well, camped out all night, stayed nice and toasty. I even carried this little portable, like, I guess it's called a laptop grill. It's not very big, but what I did was gathered up some rocks, and I put them next to the fire to dry them out for a while. Then I just kept inching them further and further toward the fire till they got good and hot. And then I grabbed my gloves and picked them up, put them inside that laptop grill. Then I took that grill and I set it inside my tent. It kept it nice and toasty in there for hours and hours. And it was, I ate good. I had water to drink. I had shelter. The next morning, I packed everything up. The weather had gotten a little better. It was in the mid-30s. I started to walk. Finally got a ride, but I could have froze to death in my car if I wasn't prepared. Middle of the night out on a backcountry road, ain't very many people going to be coming through. So, you got to be prepared for when bad things happen. I've lost my job before. Take me a couple of months to find a job sometimes. Hey, I got everything I need. I got food and water, shelter. I have money stuck back most of the time to pay bills. This year kind of wiped out my savings, helping other people out as well as myself. But hey, it is what it is. But if it hit the fan right now, I got plenty of food. I got plenty of water. I've got a safe place to go to if, say, the town I'm in got overran or whatever. People don't realize how important it is just to be prepared for everyday life, let alone the big things that come along, like this past year, the pandemic, and them locking everything down, and a lot of people out of work. Nobody was really prepared for what was coming. We prepare because it's the smart thing to do. It's what was that story? I can't remember what the story was. Something about a squirrel and a fox or something like that. But the squirrel gathered up nuts all spring, summer, and fall. The fox just lounged around, didn't get ready for the winter months. Well, the winter months come, the squirrel went in and hibernated and had plenty of nuts and everything to get him through the winter. That fox starved to death out there because he wasn't prepared. So, do like a squirrel, store it away, stock it up for when the times get bad. Right now, I mean, if you're out of work, it's a good time to learn some new skills. Don't just watch videos on it. Go out and practice them. Go out and practice building shelters. Go out and practice your fire starting. There's all sorts of things that you can practice and actually become really good at it if you just take the time to do it. And if you're out of work, what else do you got to do? You might as well do what you can to be prepared. And my wife, when we got together, and I got back into prepping. At first, she thought I was a little crazy, but then I sat her down and I explained to her why I do it. And she grew up poor too. And I explained to her, I go, when you were a kid and didn't have any money, and how many times did you go to bed hungry? How many times did you barely have enough to eat? And she started to understand why I stack food. You know? And then I explained to her, I go, okay, I'm like, have you ever been through a natural disaster? Well, yeah. Okay, well, that's why we have our bug out bags. I go, if our house caught fire, those bags are right by where we can grab them and run. You know, so if we lost the house, we'd still have enough to get us through for a few days at least. You know, and it all started to make sense to her. And my family made fun of me because I prep, you know, but this year they've come around to see the light and started to prep. You know, they're like, well, we don't have much money. I go, well, okay, go out, you know, instead of buying snack cakes and stuff, buy real food that can be stored away. Buy extra, you know, spaghetti noodles and extra cans of spaghetti, you know, beans, rice, you know, beef stew and rice. Mix those together, you can make a beef stew go quite a ways. You know, excuse me. But my family's come around to see that I wasn't as crazy as they thought. So, being a prepper, yeah, you'll get made fun of and be called paranoid, and you know, you'll have people that say, well, you ought to just trust in God. Well, God said that He helps those who help themselves. Well, I'm going to help myself, and God can come along for the ride and give me a hand. You know, it's just, you know, if you don't take the time to prepare for your own life, why would God help you? You know, there's the story of the talents in the Bible. You know, and like the one guy, he was given but one talent, and he chose to bury it, while the others were given talents and they took them out and multiplied. And when the master of the house came back and he asked for his share, well, all the others had plenty to give, and all he brought back was the one talent. And his master got upset because he didn't even try to multiply his talents. You know, that's why I said, you know, just because things are good right now doesn't mean they'll always be that way. And you know, my family were stubborn about it. They were very stubborn, very mocking about it, telling me that I was strange and you know, that I was abnormal. Well, hey, okay, if the normal is not being prepared, then I'm fine with being abnormal. You know, I would rather be prepared for what's coming along than not. This is why we prep. We prep because we want to ensure that we can still live and don't have to be dependent on others. I don't want to have to depend on the government. I mean, I've seen, you can clearly see how good the government is at managing stuff. I mean, come on. Look at how deep in debt we are. You know, look at they're willing to help other countries out, but they don't even want to spend, you know, but $600 a person, you know, on a stimulus to help the people that they screwed over here. So, you know, if I depended on the government, I'd be dead right now. You know, and you know, I don't see things getting any better anytime soon. I wish, you know, but it's just not going to happen. You know, eventually things will get better. You know, but it's going to be a while. It really is. And rather than to wait until things get to where you can't even afford them, if you got an extra $10 a week, spend it buying some food. Stack it up. You know, instead of going out to eat at McDonald's, take that money and go buy you some food. You know, you'd be surprised where you can save money. I mean, this year I've helped out quite a few other people, family, friends, you know, even some people I didn't know. But I was able to do that because I was prepared. I didn't have to worry about, oh, well, if I help this person, how bad's it going to hurt me? You know, can I afford to help this person? No, it was, okay, well, I've got extra, and they're in need. I can help. You know, we have a member of my mag whose home caught fire, and I told you guys this in another video. Well, you know, they're staying at my place out at the bug out location, the property I own, and the little cabin we have out there and everything. And you know, they have helped. They're part of the mag. They've helped to build up the property, to make it defensible, to be able to plant crops and so forth. So why not let them share in the benefits of it? You know, yes, they don't own any of the property. They don't have a cabin out there, but we do have a bunkhouse for those that don't own any of the property and don't have a cabin or a camper or nothing. But I figured, why make them have to stay in the bunkhouse when I have my cabin there? They can stay in it, and it'll be more comfortable for them. And you know, they're welcome to stay there until they get their insurance and get their place set back up. You know, they were talking about buying them a camper and putting out there. They're free to do so. They are a member of the mag. They contribute. They pay their dues every month, just like anybody else in the mag. You know, that's what it's all about, is to help each other out. That's why we are part of a mag. You know, and you know, they didn't lose their home or anything because of anything other than a natural disaster. But you know, yes, they'll rebuild. Yes, they'll go on with their lives. They lost a lot of preps, but they still have a lot of preps out where our bug out location is. So they're going to be all right. You know, if it hits the fan and they haven't been able to get built back up to where they were, we have extras. That's the whole point of this. You know, we have extra for everybody. That way, nobody in the mag is going to do without. Everybody pulls their weight. You know, and we look out for each other. That's all we can do. That's all any of us can do. That's why we joined the mag to begin with. I really do suggest that people watch my video about how to create a mag. It's very beneficial for everybody, and in times of need, they're there to help you, whether it's a major crisis or just something minor. You know, we train together, we work together to fortify our location. You know, we are friends. We hunt together. We, you know, here lately we've been wargaming. You know. And, you know, of course, we're not using live ammunition or nothing. So we're going out with paintball guns and you know, basically split the group in half. Half of us are marauders, the other half are defenders. You know, we done ambush situations. We've done, you know, middle of the night attacks, just various things, just to try to get everybody ready, because we see some bad things coming down the line, and we all need to be able to be prepared and work as a group, watch each other's backs. You know, I will tell you, when it is as cold as it is out, those paintballs have a tendency to freeze up, and they hurt like hell when you get hit with them. Just a little warning to people, you know. But I got a bruise on my back where I got shot in the back with the paintball. Yeah, I wasn't wearing body armor, so I was just wearing a hoodie and running through the woods like like one of the idiots that's out there, right now would be doing. The whole point is to recreate a feasible, plausible scenario, and we're getting pretty good at working as a cohesive unit. I mean, we've been training together for a long while, but we're really training now, because we don't want to be caught unaware. We know with the current political situation in this country that at any given moment it could explode, and we need to be ready for it, because if we're not, then we're just going to be like the rest of the zombies out there, and we don't want that. I don't want that for any of you, really. I'm hoping that, and I'm praying that everybody here that's watching this video has started and is stocked up pretty good, and hopefully not just toilet paper, people. And toilet paper ain't gonna fill you up, ain't gonna sustain you. I mean, yeah, if you die, we can wrap you up in it, but that's about it. I do hope that everybody's getting prepared, because it's a scary world we're living in now. And prepping makes it a lot less scary, because you've already ran through the scenarios in your head. Okay, well, what do I do if this happens? Okay, what do I do if that happens? We're prepared for it. And please don't be preparing for stupid stuff like a zombie apocalypse. The odds of that happening are like astronomical. Prepare for the real world stuff. Natural disasters, economic disasters, grid disasters, or the water stops flowing, or the electricity stops, or your gas stops. Have alternatives. We have several: wood, propane, kerosene. I mean, there's lots of options that we have in case things get really bad. We have power generators and everything, but we've also learned how to make our own power generation through wind power, and the alternator from a semi-truck puts out a lot more than a car does, and some deep cycle batteries to store the energy that's created. You could also, we thought about trying out hydropower with the same method, only with the instead of catching the air in the paddles in the cups, the water would make it spin and produce the electricity on the alternator. Granted, it's not going to be enough power to light up an entire compound or anything, but it's enough power to where we can keep freezers going and stuff like that. And you'd be surprised, if you get good strong winds, it'll produce a lot of a lot of power from that generator. I mean, you think about the alternator on my truck puts out enough voltage to where it charges 4 batteries for an electric APU. Okay, these are 4 24-volt batteries, deep cycle. Okay, so, it's a 24-volt system, I should say. Deep cycle batteries. It'll charge those up, and I won't have to run my truck at all of a night. It'll power my television, my refrigerator, my heating unit in here, or in the summertime, air conditioning unit, and it'll do it for a good 10 hours. That's drawing a lot of power. Now, if I can generate the same power, from the alternator generator setup that we're testing out, hey, it'll be more than enough to keep a deep freeze running. We experiment with different things. Alternate ways of creating power. Now, yes, we have solar panels and all that, but we still want to find other ways to generate more power. It's kind of reminded myself of Tim the Toolman Taylor there, more power. But it's all about learning different ways to sustain ourselves, which is a good thing that everybody should know. So if you're still wondering why you should prep, if you're new to it, this is why we prep. There are multiple possibilities of things that can happen, so we prepare for it. If you're new to prepping, hey, you still got time. It hasn't hit the fan yet. Just stock as good as you can. See about joining a mag. Find people in your community that are like-minded. Don't just go around telling people, hey, I'm a prepper, I stack food and all that. No. You don't want people to know that. But there are communities online and that you can get in contact with that are preppers and can help you. They'll give you advice. They'll teach you things that you haven't known before. But this is why we prep. We want to help each other out as best we can while still maintaining our life and having a good quality of life without having to depend on others. I just figured I'd have this little chat with everybody. If you like my content, please hit the subscribe, share my videos with others, hit the thumbs up. I appreciate your time. This is Dan with We the People Prepping. God bless you all. Have a good night. I'll talk to you later.